As we gather across this province and Canada, we would like to acknowledge that the Saskatchewan Book Awards serves authors and publishers that live and work on Treaties 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10 in Saskatchewan and across the homeland of the Métis. We acknowledge and pay our respect to the First Nation and Métis ancestors of this place and reaffirm our relationship with one another in truth and reconciliation. Welcome to the 2022 Saskatchewan Book Awards, the annual celebration of excellence in Saskatchewan writing and publishing. And to help us celebrate, we are honored to welcome home the pride of Indian Head, Saskatchewan. During the last 50-odd years, Eric Peterson has appeared on most stages across Canada, as well as Broadway, London's West End, the Edinburgh Festival, and the Melbourne International Theatre Festival. His work in Canadian film and television includes many guest star appearances, and as a series regular on Street Legal, This is Wonderland, and Corner Gas. He holds honorary doctorates from the University of Saskatchewan and the University of Regina, is a recipient of the Governor-General's Lifetime Artistic Achievement Award, Theatre, and is a member of the Order of Canada. Please welcome home your Master of Ceremonies and host, Eric Peterson.
Well, that was quite the introduction. My God, I'm blushing a bit. You can see that. I sound like a pretty fine fellow, eh? Yeah. I hardly recognize myself, which is comical because when you think that one of my chief claims to fame as a son of Saskatchewan is that I spent many years shooting a television series where I played an old fellow from Saskatchewan who always wore his hat at an angle and called everyone a jackass. And I got paid for it. Yeah, it was a dream job. So it's with great pleasure that I elevate my cultural profile by hosting this celebration tonight. A celebration of truth, beauty, mystery, and imagination. A celebration of great writing. And an acknowledgement of the hard labor necessary to realize it. A writer friend of mine, in a fit of simile, once likened the writing process to making blood come out of your forehead. A graphic metaphor, granted. But the fact that there have been 232 submissions over 13 categories for this year's awards confirms that the grit, courage, and sheer masochistic invention necessary to tell our stories is alive and well in this, the only province in Canada with straight sides. So welcome to the Saskatchewan Book Awards. So, let's get hosting. It's with great pleasure I call on the 23rd Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan, the first Indigenous person to serve in this important role. Raised in La Ronge and a member of the Lac La Ronge Indian Band, please welcome the Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan, His Honour Russ Marasti.
Thank you, Eric. Hello, Danse. Bonjour. I'm recording this message at Government House in Regina, which is in Treaty 4 territory and the homeland of the Métis. I am pleased to be the honorary patron of the Saskatchewan Book Awards and to bring greetings to you this evening. I congratulate all the shortlisted authors and publishers. What an impressive group. Thank you for sharing your creativity through your books, which entertain, educate, and inspire. We can all be immensely proud of Saskatchewan's diverse literary community. I am grateful to the Saskatchewan Book Awards board, staff, and volunteers for celebrating excellence in writing and publishing for 29 years. Since its inaugural gala in 1993, Saskatchewan Book Awards has established itself as a principal ambassador for Saskatchewan's literary community. These awards increase public awareness and promotion. Thank you for continuing this remarkable legacy. I also want to acknowledge the jurors who had the challenging task of selecting recipients, as well as the generous award sponsors for supporting this important industry in our province. In closing, it is my pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada. In the spirit of reconciliation, I would like to share these greetings in my first language, which is Woodland Cree. Nimedaitin, kitapita matawao, atamiskato, and gitsogamaskuoche, Elizabeth Niso, kigitsogamaskuino, utagitaskino, Canada. Ninanaskumun. Thank you.
And now to the awards. I see from my notes that the first book award we're giving out this evening is the first book award. Well, no, that's not as mind-numbingly obvious as it seems. Nor need you think that poor old Peterson's mind has finally descended into repetitious babble. For even if this were the second book award we were giving out tonight, or the third, or the sixth, or even the 13th, it would still be the first book award, because it's the Saskatchewan First Book Award. And here to help me out of the hosting snarl I've got myself into, please welcome the Honourable Laura Ross, Minister of Parks, Culture and Sport, to bring greetings from the Government of Saskatchewan and introduce the nominees and winner of the First Book Award, in honour of Brenda MacDonald Riches.
Thank you for having me here today on behalf of Premier Scott Moe and the Government of Saskatchewan. It's my pleasure to join the Saskatchewan literary community and all its friends and supporters for the 29th Annual Saskatchewan Book Awards. Looking down the list of nominees tonight, I see a celebration of amazing diversity and experience of Saskatchewan authors. There are entries exploring the challenge of the Métis and Indigenous experience, the brave story of a humble Broncos tragedy survivor, and accomplished academic works probing the relationships between Canada and the United States, among many outstanding entries. Some of the titles alone are very captivating. For example, the children's book, The One Dog Power Garden Team. And then there is our celebrated Saskatchewan author, Guy Vanderhaeg. His new book of fiction is called August into Winter. Guy, after the last spring we had, I hope it's not quite that abrupt. You have been nominated because of your excellent work. All of you are worthy of recognition, respect, and acclaim for your achievement and your contribution to our arts and culture sector. Thank you for making Saskatchewan a richer and better place to live. I also want to thank Cam Teho, the Executive Director of the Saskatchewan Book Awards, and all the people involved in this wonderful and important evening. Thank you all, and good luck and best wishes.
The Saskatchewan First Book Award, in honour of Brenda MacDonald Riches, sponsored by the Saskatchewan Ministry of Parks, Culture and Sport.
The Ministry of Parks, Culture and Sport is pleased to sponsor the First Book Awards tonight.
The Saskatchewan First Book Award recognizes a Saskatchewan author or pair of authors for the best debut book, judged on the quality of writing. The nominees for Saskatchewan First Book are A Line of Blood and Dirt, Creating the Canada-United States Border Across Indigenous Lands, by Benjamin Hoy, published by Oxford University Press. Handringers, by Sarah Mintz, published by Radiant Press. Iskoteo Isquiu, Poetry of a Northern Res Girl, by Francine Morasti, published by Bookland Press. Only If We're Caught, by Teresa Slind, published by Thistledown Press. 20.12 Meters, a short story collection of a life lived as a road allowance Métis, by Arnolda Defour-Bose, published by GDI Press.
And the winner of the Ministry of Parks, Culture and Sport First Book Award honoring Brenda MacDonald Riches is Teresa Slind for Only If We're Caught. Congratulations, Teresa.
The Saskatchewan Non-Fiction Award, sponsored by the University of Saskatchewan President's Office.
That this is the second award we're awarding this evening is no fiction. For it is indeed the Saskatchewan Non-Fiction Award, sponsored by the University of Saskatchewan. Please welcome University of Saskatchewan President Peter Stoichev, who will introduce the nominees and announce the winner of the Saskatchewan Non-Fiction Award. Take it away, Peter.
Thank you, Eric. I'm really pleased that my office is sponsoring the Saskatchewan Book Awards, University of Saskatchewan Non-Fiction Award. It's my belief that this province has a vibrant, accomplished, and most importantly, unique literary culture and output, and that it's second to none in this country. I'm proud to be able to support that in any way that I can, and that the University of Saskatchewan can. From the literary contributions made by our faculty and students and alumni, to our MFA in Writing program, to our sponsorship of this important Saskatchewan Book Award.
The Saskatchewan Nonfiction Award honors a Saskatchewan author or authors for the best book of nonfiction, judged on the quality of writing. The Saskatchewan Nonfiction Award nominees are Caleb Dahlgren for Crossroads, My Story of Tragedy and Resilience as a Humboldt Bronco, published by Collins. D. Hobsbawm Smith for Bread and Water, Essays, published by University of Regina Press. Catherine McGee-LaBelle for Daughters of Otiansik, Life Stories from 7 Generations, published by McGill-Queen's University Press. Benjamin Hoy for A Line of Blood and Dirt, Creating the Canada-United States Border Across Indigenous Lands, published by Oxford University Press. Amber, Bev, Chantel, Jasmine, Faith, Georgina, and Robert Henry for Indigenous Women and Street Gangs, Survivance Narratives, published by University of Alberta Press.
And the winner is D. Hobsbawm Smith for Bread and Water Essays. Congratulations, D, on winning the University of Saskatchewan Nonfiction Award.
The Jennifer Welsh Scholarly Writing Award, sponsored by the University of Regina Faculty of Arts and University of Saskatchewan College of Arts and Sciences.
This next award is the Jennifer Welsh Scholarly Writing Award. I see the award is supported by the University of Regina Faculty of Arts and the University of Saskatchewan College of Arts and Science. That's wonderful. You know, often we share our fiercest rivalries with our closest neighbors, as was so wonderfully captured in Corner Gas, when the mere mention of Woolerton, the town next door, would cause the citizens of Dog River to spit in disgust. And I'm sure that there's many instances when there's no love lost between Saskatoon and Regina, and citizens spitting whenever they hear the other's name. So it's grand to see in these polarized times such an example of cooperation and lack of competitive rancor, as the joint support of this award exemplifies. Please welcome the Dean of the University of Regina Faculty of Arts and Science, Shannon Day.
Thank you, Eric. On behalf of the University of Regina Faculty of Arts, University of Saskatchewan College of Arts and Sciences, I am pleased that we are sponsoring once again the Jennifer Welsh Scholarly Writing Award. We Deans of Arts and Sciences are enormously proud of the high-quality scholarly writing that is produced by scholars in this province. The Saskatchewan Book Awards, and in particular the Jennifer Welsh Scholarly Writing Award, once a year allows us to shine a light on that important and excellent work.
The Jennifer Welsh Scholarly Writing Award recognizes works based upon high-quality research that establish original and significant findings and are accessible to a general reading audience. The Saskatchewan Scholarly Writing Award nominees are David A. Smith for Cowboy Presidents, The Frontier Myth in U.S. Politics Since 1900, published by University of Oklahoma Press. Allison D. Stevenson for Intimate Integration, A History of the 60s Scoop and the Colonization of Indigenous Kinship, published by University of Toronto Press. Benjamin Hoy for A Line of Blood and Dirt, Creating the Canada-United States Border Across Indigenous Lands, published by Oxford University Press. Pamela J. Down for Collective Care, Indigenous Motherhood, Family, and HIV/AIDS, published by University of Toronto Press. Catherine McGee-LaBelle for Daughters of Otiansik, Life Stories from 7 Generations, published by McGill-Queen's University Press.
And the winner is Allison D. Stevenson for Intimate Integration, A History of the 60s Scoop and the Colonization of Indigenous Kinship. Congratulations, Allison, on winning the University of Regina Faculty of Arts, University of Saskatchewan College of Arts and Sciences Jennifer Welsh Scholarly Writing Award.
The Saskatoon Book Award, sponsored by the City of Saskatoon and Saskatoon Public Library.
The Saskatoon Book Awards are sponsored by the City of Saskatoon and the Saskatoon Public Library. I'm suddenly reminded of my father, who, when looking up from a piece of my mother's delicious Saskatoon pie, would invariably ask, "How do you catch a bear?" To which we would invariably reply, "Gee, Dad, I don't know. How do you catch a bear?" And Dad would say, "You make a sound like a Saskatoon." I know, it's a silly joke. I'm pleased to introduce His Worship Charlie Clark, Mayor of Saskatoon, bringing greetings from the City of Bridges, and here to introduce the nominees and announce the winner of the Saskatoon Book Award.
Thank you very much, Eric. I'm Charlie Clark, the Mayor of the City of Saskatoon. We're a city with an incredibly rich and deep literary and arts history and an amazing community of authors and artists who are helping to shape who we are. So I'm very proud that the City of Saskatoon has once again joined with the Saskatoon Public Library to sponsor the Saskatoon Book Award so that we can celebrate another amazing author from Saskatoon.
The Saskatoon Book Award celebrates works from the literary community in Saskatoon. This multi-genre category award is presented to a Saskatoon author or pair of authors for the year's best book. The Saskatoon Book Award nominees are D. Hobsbawm Smith for Bread and Water, published by University of Regina Press. Lisa Bird Wilson for Probably Ruby, published by Doubleday Canada. Diana Hope Teagenkamp for Girl Running, published by Thistledown Press. Louise B. Half Skydancer for Oasis, Kinky and Disheveled, published by Brick Books. Benjamin Hoy for A Line of Blood and Dirt, Creating the Canada-United States Border Across Indigenous Lands, published by Oxford University Press.
And the winner is Lisa Bird Wilson for Probably Ruby. Congratulations, Lisa, on winning the City of Saskatoon, Saskatoon Public Library, Saskatoon Book Award.
The Regina Book Award, sponsored by the City of Regina.
Well, we've had the Saskatoon Book Award, so it should come as no surprise to you that it's now time for the Regina Book Award, sponsored by the City of Regina. Joining us from the Queen City is Councillor Shannon Zakidniak with the nominees and the winner of the Regina Book Award.
Thank you, Eric. I am Shannon Zakidniak, Councillor of Ward 8 in the City of Regina, speaking on behalf of Regina Mayor Sandra Masters. I am pleased to announce once again that the City of Regina is sponsoring the SBA Regina Book Award. Arts and culture generate a wealth of contributions to the city's cultural, social, and economic fabric. We're proud to celebrate the literary accomplishments of our city's authors.
The Regina Book Award celebrates works from the literary community in Regina. This multi-genre category award is presented to a Regina author or pair of authors for the year's best book. The Regina Book Award nominees are Tara Giroux for Saltus, published by Nightwood Editions. Kelly Jo Burke for Wreck, a very anxious memoir, published by Radiant Press. Mark Stobie for The Mr. Big Sting, The Cases, The Killers, The Controversial Confessions, published by ECW Press. Medri Purdom for Little House Wolf, published by Signal Editions. Zachary Logan for A Natural History of Unnatural Things, published by Radiant Press.
And the winner is Madri Purdom for Little House Wolf. Congratulations, Madri, on winning the 2022 SBA City of Regina Regina Book Award.
We're going to take a little intermission now. And while we're having this intermission, the Saskatchewan Book Awards have been celebrating literature in the province for 29 exciting years. And we'd like to take a few minutes to share some images of those who have played a role in this outstanding, rich Saskatchewan tradition. Let's have a look.
The Saskatchewan Poetry Award in honor of Anne Sumigelski, sponsored by Sask Arts.
Welcome back to the 29th Saskatchewan Book Awards. From prose to poetry, immediately I hear, because I'm so ancient, lines of the sweet songstress of Saskatchewan whispered on the prairie breeze. How changed and bleak the meadows lie, and overgrown with hay, the fields of oats and barley, where the binder twined its way. With doors ajar, the cottage stands deserted on the hill. No welcome bark, no thudding hoof, and the voice of the pig is still. How startled and pleased would Sarah Binks be with the outpouring of beautiful, provocative, and diverse poetry that is the art form in Saskatchewan today. She could only agree with Christopher Fry's observation that poetry is a language in which we explore our own amazement. The Saskatchewan Poetry Award, in honor of Anne Sumigelski, is sponsored by Sask Arts. Please welcome Sask Art Director and CEO, Michael Jones.
Thanks, Eric. On behalf of Sask Arts, I'm pleased to be here to present the Poetry Award given in honor of Anne Sumigelski. Sask Arts programming supports all aspects of the literary arts in this province, from festivals and organizations through writers, publishers, and editors. At the Saskatchewan Arts Awards, we've honored many of the province's great authors and publishers, and indeed many of the writers being honored tonight started this work and much other work with support from Sask Arts. However, our grants go beyond supporting artists. They have a ripple effect that impacts the entire population of Saskatchewan. In fact, organizations that receive operating support from Sask Arts reach 1.6 million people every year with their programming, their activities, their productions. To offer that level of support, Sask Arts is proud to thank the Government of Saskatchewan, as well as our partners like Sask Lotteries and Sask Culture. We're also pleased to sponsor the Poetry Award this year, which we have done every year since 1995. And Sask Arts wants to acknowledge the fine work of this year's nominees.
The Saskatchewan Poetry Award, in honor of Anne Sumigelski, recognizes a Saskatchewan author or authors for the best book of poetry, judged on the quality of writing. The Saskatchewan Poetry Award nominees are Diana Hope Teagenkamp for Girl Running, published by Thistledown Press. John MacDonald for Kitotem, published by Radiant Press. Louise B. Half Skydancer for Oasis, Kinky and Disheveled, published by Brick Books. Medri Purdom for Little House Wolf, published by Signal Editions. Carol Rose Golden Eagle for Essential Ingredients, published by Inanna Publications.
And the 2022 Poetry Award given in honor of Anne Sumigelski goes to Louise B. Half Skydancer for Oasis, Kinky and Disheveled. I would like to offer my congratulations to Louise, as well as to all of tonight's nominated authors.
The Saskatchewan Publishing Award, sponsored by Creative Saskatchewan.
The late Milton Acorn, a wonderful poet from PEI, once remarked, "To be an artist in this country, you have to be a tough son of a bitch." Now, with no intention to offend with the rough language and with all due respect, I think that's a fairly accurate statement. Making the stuff is hard enough, but selling the stuff, being the interlocutor between the writer and the reader, the artist and the public, takes another kind of tough SOB. And these awards recognize and honor such toughness. The Saskatchewan Publishing Award is sponsored by Creative Saskatchewan, and here's its CEO, Aaron Dean, to introduce the nominees and winner of the Saskatchewan Publishing Award.
Thank you, Eric. Creative Saskatchewan is pleased to once again be sponsoring the Saskatchewan Book Award, Creative Saskatchewan Publishing Award. Creative Saskatchewan is the economic development agency for Saskatchewan's creative industry, and we're proud to invest in publishers across the province.
The Saskatchewan Publishing Award recognizes a Saskatchewan publisher of the best book, judged upon literary or artistic value, quality of editing, book design, production, and content. The Saskatchewan Publishing Award nominees are University of Regina Press for publishing #Black in School, written by Habiba Cooper Diallo. Radiant Press for publishing Handringers, written by Sarah Mintz. University of Regina Press for publishing Red Obsidian, written by Stephen Torr. University of Regina Press for publishing Cold Case North, The Search for James Brady and Absalom Halkett, written by Michael Nest, with Deanna Reeder and Eric Bell. University of Regina Press for publishing Chuckapis, A Naskapi Legend, by John Peastitude, edited by Margaret Mackenzie, translated by Julie Britton and Silas Nabinikabu.
And the winner is the University of Regina Press for publishing Cold Case North, The Search for James Brady and Absalom Halkett, written by Michael Nest with Deanna Reeder and Eric Bell. Congratulations to the University of Regina Press for winning the Creative Saskatchewan Publishing Award.
The Saskatchewan Publishing and Education Award, sponsored by Sask Books.
Now please welcome Belinda Reel Fitzsimmons, President of Sask Books, to introduce the Saskatchewan Publishing in Education Award.
Thank you, Eric. I am pleased that Sask Books will once again be sponsoring the SBA Publishing in Education Award.
The Saskatchewan Publishing and Education Award recognizes the Saskatchewan publisher of the best educational resource book, judged on its value to educators at primary, secondary, or post-secondary levels. Literary and artistic value, quality of editing, book design, production, and content are all consideration criteria. The Saskatchewan Publishing and Education Award nominees are University of Regina Press for Chuckapis, A Naskapi Legend, by John Peastitude, edited by Margaret Mackenzie, translated by Julie Britton and Silas Nabinikabu. University of Regina Press for Carrying the Burden of Peace, Reimagining Indigenous Masculinities Through Story, by Sam McKegney. University of Regina Press for #Black in School, by Habiba Cooper Diallo. University of Regina Press for Machi Anishinaabe Moin, Beginning Soto, by L. Lynn Cody and Margaret R. Cody.
And the winner is University of Regina Press for Machi Anishinaabe, Beginning Soto, by L. Lynn Cody and Margaret R. Cody. Congratulations to the University of Regina Press on winning the Sask Books Publishing in Education Award.
The Indigenous Peoples Publishing Award, sponsored by the Saskatoon Public Library.
And now, to introduce the Indigenous Peoples Publishing Award, sponsored by the Saskatoon Public Library, let's welcome Brad Bird, Director of Reconciliation for the Saskatoon Public Library.
Thank you, Eric. The Saskatoon Public Library is pleased once again to sponsor the SBA Indigenous Peoples Publishing Award. Through our Writer-in-Residence program and vast collection of books by local authors, Saskatoon Public Library has a long history of working with and promoting the work of Saskatchewan-based writers. We have also made growing our Indigenous collection a focus in the past several years, and it has been inspiring to see the incredible work that's being published by First Nation and Métis authors in the province.
The Indigenous Peoples Publishing Award recognizes the Saskatchewan publisher or Saskatchewan Indigenous publisher of the work judged Best Book, authored or edited by a person of Indigenous descent. Consideration criteria include the depth of Indigenous content, literary and artistic value, editing, design, and production. The Indigenous Peoples Publishing Award nominees are GDI Press for 20.12 Meters, a short story collection of a life as a Road Allowance Métis by Arnolda Dufour Bose. University of Regina Press for Gather, On the Joy of Storytelling by Richard Van Camp. Wood Dragon Books for Finding Izzy by Cheryl Doherty. Mackenzie Art Gallery, Musée d'Art Mackenzie for The Sioux Project, Tatanka Oyate, edited by Dana Claxton. Radiant Press for Kitotem by John MacDonald.
And the winner is GDI Press for 20.12 Meters, a short story collection of a life as a Road Allowance Métis by Arnolda Dufour Bose. Congratulations to GDI Press on winning the 2022 SBA Saskatoon Public Library Indigenous Peoples Publishing Award.
The Indigenous Peoples Writing Award, sponsored by Rasmussen and Company.
Our next presenter is Zina Chorosky of Rasmussen and Company, sponsors of the Indigenous Peoples Writing Award, who will introduce the nominees and announce the winner. Take it away, Zina.
Thank you, Eric. I'm very pleased that Rasmussen and Company is once again sponsoring the Indigenous Peoples Writing Award. Rasmussen & Co. is a boutique law firm in Regina, specializing in Aboriginal law, among other things. We're a family firm, with most of our staff being related by blood or marriage. And we're also voracious readers. We could collectively, and in some cases personally, stock a used bookstore. We fervently believe that Saskatchewan voices matter, whether in poetry or prose, fiction or nonfiction, and we're delighted and honored to be able to lift up Indigenous voices through this award.
The Indigenous Peoples Writing Award honors an Indigenous Saskatchewan author, or authors, for the best book, judged on the quality of writing. The Indigenous Peoples Writing Award nominees are Louise B. Half Sky Dancer for Oasis, Kinky and Disheveled, published by Brick Books. Allison D. Stevenson for Intimate Integration, a history of the 60s scoop and the colonization of Indigenous kinship, published by University of Toronto Press. John Langan for Iskoches Tipaskak, a Spark in the Dark, published by John Langan. Arnolda Dufour Bose for 20.12 Meters, a short story collection of a life lived as a Road Allowance Métis, published by GDI Press. Don Demont for The Prairie Chicken Dance Tour, published by Freehand Books.
And the winner is Allison D. Stevenson for Intimate Integration, a history of the 60s scoop and the colonization of Indigenous kinship. Congratulations to Allison on winning the Saskatchewan Book Awards Rasmussen and Company Indigenous Peoples Writing Award.
The Saskatchewan Children's Literature Award, sponsored by G. Murray and Edna Forbes Foundation.
And now for the Saskatchewan Children's Literature Award, sponsored by the G. Murray and Edna Forbes Foundation. Please welcome the Executive Director of the South Saskatchewan Community Foundation and spokesperson for the G. Murray and Edna Forbes Foundation, Donna Ziegler, who will introduce the nominees and the winner of the Saskatchewan Children's Literature Award.
Thank you, Eric. I'm Donna Ziegler, and I'm pleased that the G. Murray and Edna Forbes Foundation Fund at the South Saskatchewan Community Foundation is once again sponsoring the Children's Award. The G. Murray and Edna Forbes Foundation Fund is held at South Saskatchewan Community Foundation, where it supports charitable causes throughout the South Saskatchewan area. Murray and Edna Forbes were longtime residents of Regina. They were involved in many community activities and were strong supporters of the arts. They are both deceased now, but their legacy lives on through the Forbes Foundation Fund that they created at the South Saskatchewan Community Foundation. Members of their family are privileged to continue their good work by sponsoring this Saskatchewan Book Award in the children's category.
The Saskatchewan Children's Literature Award honors a Saskatchewan author, authors, or author and illustrator of works intended for children of ages 10 years and under. The Saskatchewan Children's Literature Award nominees are Nyla's New Shoes by Caitlin Nichol, published by Caitlin Nichol and illustrated by Vivian Sarkani. The Girl with the Cat by Beverly Brenna, published by Red Deer Press and illustrated by Brooke Kerrigan. Adventures on the Circle Star Ranch by Jackie Cameron, published by Your Nicholsworth Publishing and illustrated by Wendy Nordell. Road Allowance Kitten, Broken Promises by Wilfred Burton, published by GDI Press and illustrated by Christina Johns. The One Dog Power Garden Team by Allison Lowens, published by Your Nicholsworth Publishing and illustrated by Gretchen Ursum.
And the winner of the G. Murray and Edna Forbes Foundation for the Children's Book Award is Beverly Brenna for The Girl with the Cat, illustrated by Brooke Kerrigan. Congratulations, Beverly.
The Saskatchewan Fiction Award, sponsored by the Saskatchewan Book Awards.
Would you please welcome Donna Woloshin, Chair of the Saskatchewan Book Awards, who will introduce the nominees and the winner of the Saskatchewan Fiction Award.
Thank you, Eric. I'm delighted that the Saskatchewan Book Awards is once again sponsoring the Fiction Award. We're so blessed to have such a rich community of fiction writers in our province.
The Saskatchewan Fiction Award recognizes a work of fiction by a Saskatchewan author, either in novel or short fiction form. The Saskatchewan Fiction Award nominees are Probably Ruby by Lisa Bird Wilson, published by Doubleday Canada. Only If We're Caught by Teresa Slind, published by Thistledown Press. August into Winter by Guy Vanderhaeg, published by McClelland and Stewart. The Prairie Chicken Dance Tour by Don DeMont, published by Freehand Books. Sultus by Tara Giroux, published by Nightwood Editions.
And the 2022 Saskatchewan Book Award Fiction Award winner is Guy Vanderhaeg for August into Winter. Congratulations, Guy.
The Saskatchewan Book of the Year Award, sponsored by the Regina Public Library.
And now, our final award, the 2022 Saskatchewan Book of the Year Award, in honor of Mary Sutherland, sponsored by the Regina Public Library. Please welcome Jeff Barber, Director and CEO of the Regina Public Library, to introduce the nominees and announce our winner of the Saskatchewan Book of the Year.
Thank you, Eric. I'm pleased that the Regina Public Library is once again sponsoring the SBA Book of the Year Award. Works are considered from all literary genres, including children and young adult, drama, poetry, fiction, and nonfiction.
The Saskatchewan Book of the Year Award, in honor of Mary Sutherland, recognizes the literary work of a Saskatchewan author or authors, judged Best of the Year. Past winners include authors Randy Lundy, Jan Martel, Candace Savage, Trevor Harriott, Sandra Birdsell, and Bonnie Bernard. The Book of the Year is judged on the quality of writing and presentation, including visual appeal, illustrations, and photography. The nominees for 2022 Saskatchewan Book of the Year are Only If We're Caught by Teresa Slind, published by Thistledown Press. Probably Ruby by Lisa Bird Wilson, published by Doubleday Canada. August into Winter by Guy Vanderhaeg, published by McClelland and Stewart. Sultus by Tara Giroux, published by Nightwood Editions. Oasis, Kinky and Disheveled by Louise B. Half Sky Dancer, published by Brick Books.
And the winner of the 2022 Regina Public Library SBA Book of the Year is Lisa Bird Wilson for Probably Ruby.
Probably Ruby is the debut novel by Lisa Bird Wilson, a Cree Métis writer and poet, based in Saskatoon, Canada. This is the second Book of the Year awarded to Bird Wilson, who was previously recognized for her short story collection, Just Pretending, in 2014. Probably Ruby is published in Canada by Doubleday and in the USA by Hogarth Random House.
Congratulations, Lisa.
Well, there you have it. What an impressive group of winners, nominated authors, and publishers. Congratulations to all of you tonight, and thank you for enriching Saskatchewan's cultural landscape with your literary excellence. A special thanks to all of our supporting sponsors. We're very appreciative of your valuable contribution. And now, completing our program, Donna Woloshin, Board Chair of the Saskatchewan Book Awards, would like to offer you some closing remarks. Till the next time.
Thank you, Eric, for the lovely introduction. We're so delighted and honored to have you as our Master of Ceremonies for the 29th Annual Saskatchewan Book Awards. This year's awards ceremony, our third online version since the beginning of the pandemic, is truly a spectacular event that's been in the making for over 6 months. Many organizations, including ours, have faced challenges and uncertainties brought on by the pandemic. And while we did struggle, I'm proud to say that the Saskatchewan Book Awards did not stumble or close. We were sustained by community funding and supports that enabled us to continue operations and hold online events promoting writing and publishing excellence in Saskatchewan. As we enter our 30th anniversary year, I'm reminded of all the people who have contributed to the phenomenal success of the Book Awards. From the 4 initial awards held in 1993, we have grown and expanded the number of awards to 14, adding new ones, including Indigenous peoples writing and publishing, for example. Indeed, this is an amazing evening for celebration. This year, we received a record number of entries, including 232 submissions for 13 award categories. I want to offer my sincere congratulations to tonight's award recipients and to all the shortlisted authors and publishers who submitted. Once again, you've shown us the depth and breadth of Saskatchewan's literary talent that continues to inform and entertain us all. And now, I'd like to take this opportunity to announce some upcoming changes that the Book Awards is undertaking. The board is undergoing some transformation and has made some important decisions based on a comprehensive organizational review. These changes, in line with a more focused role, will enable us to continue to deliver the high-quality Book Awards program that we know is so important to our literary community, while ensuring efficiency and sustainability. Beginning with the 2023 season, the Saskatchewan Book Awards will be operating in closer connection with our founding partners, Sask Books, the Saskatchewan Library Association, and the Saskatchewan Writers Guild. So, I'm very pleased to announce a few changes that you can look forward to. First, the Saskatchewan Library Association has agreed to host the award ceremony as part of its annual conference held each year in May, and the Saskatchewan Writers Guild will organize our author readings. As for our organization, the SBA's volunteer-led Board of Directors will continue to oversee the sponsorship, call for submissions, and independent adjudication processes to guarantee integrity and freedom from conflict of interest. This continues to be integral to the awards program as envisioned by the founding partners in 1993. So in closing, we are grateful for the many supports that we received, and there are many to thank. First and foremost, I want to thank the Honourable Russ Morasti, Lieutenant Governor of Saskatchewan and the Honorary Patron of the Saskatchewan Book Awards, and all the presenters this evening. Thank you to the jurors from across Canada who reviewed the entries, and to our funders, Access Copyright Foundation, Sask Arts, Heritage Canada, and all our award sponsors. It's especially important that I acknowledge our Executive Director, Cam Teo, who's been a great ambassador for our organization for the past 2.5 years. I also want to thank our board members who have helped to bring this award event to you tonight, as well as the production company Amplify for making this online award ceremony possible. And to our founding partners and all those who contribute their time and effort to the success of the Book Awards, we look forward to the next chapter of even stronger connections and increased collaboration. Finally, thank you to you, our viewers, for joining in the celebration of our last online award ceremony. Please continue to support Saskatchewan writers and publishers by visiting your favorite bookstore. Just like you, I look forward to all the new books and stories we will be celebrating at next year's awards ceremony. Thank you and good night.